Good evening, viewers. You're tuned in to ICRT, keeping you informed.
ICRT!
Apple has received government approval to launch its sleep apnea notification feature on Apple Watch in Taiwan. The company announced today that it obtained medical device approval from the Ministry of Health and Welfare. This allows for the immediate rollout of the Apple Watch's sleep apnea notification feature, compatible with the device's newer models. Apple says the watch detects wrist movements associated with disruptions to normal breathing patterns during sleep and analyzes the data to detect moderate to severe sleep apnea. The watch then notifies users, prompting them to discuss follow-up actions with their doctor. And the company says its AirPods Pro 2 wireless earbuds will now also offer a hearing aid function for users with mild to moderate hearing loss.
Government approval. Sleep apnea. Notification feature. Disruptions to normal breathing. Follow-up actions. Hearing aid function. Mild to moderate hearing loss.
The newest French National Strategic Report is highlighting China's repeated military exercises near Taiwan and asserting that Beijing's escalating pressure on Taiwan has created instability in the region. The report points out intensified Chinese military actions around Taiwan this year and last, saying that it reflects China's desire to assert its own will in the region. Furthermore, authors of the report say that Donald Trump's ascendance to the White House has exacerbated the danger. Meanwhile, the report claims that China is continuing to develop its nuclear warheads, and the report also considers Taiwan's economic importance, saying Taiwan is a key link in the semiconductor supply chain. This comes as French President Emmanuel Macron confirms over 7 billion additional euros in defense spending by 2027.
Strategic report. Military exercises. Escalating pressure. Assert one's will. Exacerbate the danger. Nuclear warheads. Semiconductor supply chain.
Taipei is ranked 14th in the QS Best Student Cities 2026 list. That's its highest city placement to date. The city climbed 12 places from the previous year, surpassing its previous best ranking of 17th in 2019. The site ranked Taipei one of Asia's leading higher education hubs with strong employer activity scores and students enjoying their experience of the city and often keen to stay after graduation. In addition to Taipei, Hsinchu, Tainan, Taichung, and Taoyuan also appeared on QS's list of the top 150 student cities. Now, among the 39 Asian cities ranked, Taipei placed 6th after Seoul, Tokyo, Singapore, Kuala Lumpur, and Beijing. Globally, the top 10 student cities were Seoul, Tokyo, London, Munich, Melbourne, Sydney, Berlin, and Paris, which tied at 7th, Zurich, and Vienna.
Ranked 14th. Placement. Higher education hub. Employer activity. Keen to stay. Tied at 7th.
Taiwan and Vietnam have signed a cooperation agreement to deepen partnerships in education. The Ministry of Education says the new agreement aims to expand academic exchanges, increase scholarship opportunities, and support joint programs to foster talent development. It builds on earlier pacts signed in 2006 and 2017 and signals a renewed commitment to collaboration in areas such as faculty and student training, language education, and sister school partnerships. Education officials say nearly 40,000 Vietnamese enrolled in the 2024 academic year, making up more than 32% of all foreign students in the country. Officials say Taiwan's strengths in higher and technical education can help meet the growing demand for skilled professionals across Southeast Asia, particularly through continued engagement with ASEAN and South Asian countries.
Cooperation agreement. Academic exchanges. Scholarship opportunities. Talent development. Faculty and student training. Sister school partnerships. Technical education.
United Nations health officials have estimated that more than 14 million children did not receive a single vaccine last year. The World Health Organization and UNICEF said about 89% of children under 1 year old got a first dose of the diphtheria, tetanus, and whooping cough vaccine in 2024, the same as in 2023. About 85% completed the 3-dose series. That's up from 84% in 2023. The agencies released their annual estimate of global vaccine coverage today. Health leaders said the collapse of international aid led by the U.S. threatens efforts to reduce the number of unprotected children. The United Nations estimates vaccine prevented 3.5 to 5 million deaths a year.
UN health officials. Vaccine coverage. Diphtheria, tetanus, and whooping cough. 3-dose series. Collapse of international aid. Unprotected children. Prevent deaths.
The U.S. Senate Armed Services Committee says in the National Defense Authorization Act it recently passed that the bill strongly encourages the defense secretary to invite Taiwan's naval forces to participate in the Rim of the Pacific military exercise. The wording is stronger than the NDAAs in previous years, which usually suggested that Taiwan be involved in the Rim Pact. The committee has also indicated that if the defense secretary decides not to invite Taiwan, he needs to present reasons to justify that decision. RIMPAC is the world's largest international maritime warfare exercise, and Taiwan's participation would signify a significant step in its military cooperation with the United States and other allies. The bill will now proceed to the full Senate for a vote.
Senate Armed Services Committee. National Defense Authorization Act. Rim of the Pacific military exercise. Justify that decision. International maritime warfare exercise. Military cooperation.
Taiwanese tennis veteran谢淑薇and her Latvian partner Jelena Ostapenko finished as runners-up in the Wimbledon women's doubles final. They lost the 3-set match 6-3, 2-6, 4-6 against Veronika Kudermetova of Russia and Elise Mertens of Belgium. Although the Taiwanese-Latvian duo trailed 1-3 in the opening set, they rallied with 2 service breaks to take it 6-3. In the second set, Mertens and Kudermetova raced to a 5-1 lead and wrapped it up 6-2 to even the match. And in the final set, Xie and Ostapenko held firm with strong baseline shots, leveling the score at 2-2 and then surging ahead 4-2. But Mertens and Kudermetova mounted a dramatic comeback, breaking serve twice to turn the set around and clinch the win. The loss denied 39-year-old Xie a chance to claim her 10th Grand Slam title. Xie and Mertens won the women's doubles titles together at the 2021 Wimbledon Championships and the 2024 Australian Open.
Runner-up. Rally. Service break. Baseline shots. Dramatic comeback. Grand Slam title. Doubles final.
Iconic Taiwanese idol boy group F4 reunited on stage at the weekend during the finale of Taiwanese pop rock band Mayday's concert at Taipei Arena. The performance marked the first time since 2016 that the members of F4 shared a public appearance together. F4 reunited as guests for the last of Mayday's Taipei Arena concerts. Mayday's frontman Shin went on to reference the iconic Taiwanese idol drama Meteor Garden, which created F4 and shot the group's members to superstardom to mark the boy group's appearance. The 4 group members then walked on stage to join Shin in an interpretation of F4's debut ballad Meteor Rain. F4 was Taiwan's first idol boy group, founded in 2001 after the success of their TV drama, itself an adaptation from Japanese mega series Boys Over Flowers, written and illustrated by Yoko Kamio. The group officially disbanded in 2009 rather.
Idol boy group. Reunite on stage. Finale. Public appearance. Interpretation. Debut ballad. Adaptation.
The U.S. State Department has formally advised staffers that it will be sending layoff notices to some of them soon. It comes as part of dramatic changes to the agency that the Trump administration announced earlier this year. The workforce cuts and reorganization of the country's diplomatic corps are part of a wider effort to reduce the size of the federal government. A recent ruling by the Supreme Court cleared the way for the layoffs to start. Critics say the scale of cuts floated at the State Department would lessen U.S. influence globally and make it hard for many offices to carry out their missions.
Layoff notice. Reorganization. Diplomatic corps. Ruling. Influence.
A tech company executive in Taiwan has been convicted for selling Chinese-made surveillance equipment falsely labeled as made in Taiwan to National Sun Yat-sen University. The defendant, identified as Xie, won a contract in 2021 to install a security system at the university's Renwu campus. And to bypass a ban on Chinese products, he bought equipment from China and relabeled it to appear locally made. The Zhanghua District Court sentenced him to 1 year and 4 months in prison, convertible to a fine, and fined him 240,000 NT in procurement violations. In a separate civil case, Xie was ordered to pay over 240,000 NT in damages after failing to appear in court. Prosecutors say other schools were also tricked by similar schemes. Both rulings can be appealed.
Executive. Surveillance equipment. Defendant. Bypass. Procurement. Damages. Appealed.
Two U.S. senators have jointly introduced the Taiwan Undersea Cable Resilience Initiative Act. That's bipartisan legislation that would protect Taiwan's critical communications infrastructure and deter malicious gray zone activities by China. Republican Senator John Curtis and Democratic Senator Jackie Rosen said the cables, which are critical for global communication and commerce, have been a primary target of China's for undercover sabotage to undermine Taiwan's security. The bill seeks to establish a comprehensive initiative led by the U.S. State Department and in partnership with the Department of Defense, Department of Homeland Security, and Coast Guard to deploy real-time monitoring systems. Those government agencies should also develop rapid response protocols, improve maritime surveillance, and enhance international cooperation to defend against sabotage. The bill would also authorize targeted sanctions against individuals and entities responsible for damaging undersea cables linked to Taiwan's national security, while directing the government to report regularly to Congress on threats and response measures. The bill needs to be passed by the Senate and then the House before being signed by the President.
Bipartisan. Infrastructure. Sabotage. Protocols. Surveillance. Sanctions. Administration.
The European Court of Human Rights has delivered damning judgments against Russia. In findings published on Wednesday, the court said Moscow was responsible for widespread violations of international law, from the shooting down of Malaysia Airlines Flight 17 in 2014 to the murder, torture, rape, destruction of civilian infrastructure, and kidnapping of Ukrainian children after Moscow's full-scale invasion of 2022. The court issued judgments in 4 cases brought by Kyiv and the Netherlands, accusing Moscow of atrocities in Ukraine dating back more than a decade. Ukrainian officials say that Russia pounded the capital with yet another mass missile and drone attack causing fires across the city and injuring at least 10 people a day after the heaviest aerial attack of the war so far. In a post on Telegram early today, Kyiv Mayor Vitaly Klitschko said rescue workers were working at a residential building in a local district after falling debris caused a fire on the top floor of an apartment building.
Judgment. Atrocity. Invasion. Infrastructure. Missile. Debris. Residential.
Elon Musk's artificial intelligence company is taking down anti-Semitic comments and other inappropriate posts made by its Grok chatbot, including some praising Adolf Hitler. Grok was developed by Musk's artificial intelligence company xAI and pitched as an alternative to what he called woke AI rivals like Google's Gemini or OpenAI's ChatGPT. It has been stoking controversy with its responses since Musk announced it was being improved significantly. It shared several anti-Semitic posts, including the trope that Jews dominate Hollywood. It also appeared to praise Adolf Hitler according to screenshots of another post that has now been deleted. Also on Wednesday, a court in Turkey ordered a ban on Grok, and Poland's digital minister said he would report the chatbot to the European Commission after it made vulgar comments about public figures in both countries.
Inappropriate. Chatbot. Trope. Controversy. Screenshots. Vulgar.
Israel's military launched airstrikes early today, targeting ports and facilities held by Yemen's Houthi rebels, with the rebels responding with missile fire targeting Israel. The attacks came after a suspected Houthi attack targeting a ship in the Red Sea that caught fire and took on water, later forcing its crew to abandon the vessel. The Houthi rebels have been launching missile and drone attacks against commercial and military ships in the region in what the group's leadership has described as an effort to end Israel's offensive against Hamas in the Gaza Strip. The Israeli military says it struck Houthi-held ports at Hodeidah, Ras Isa, and Salif. The Houthis then responded with an apparent missile attack on Israel. The Israeli military said it attempted to intercept the missile, but it appeared to make impact, though there were no immediate reports of injuries from the attack.
Airstrike. Missile. Vessel. Intercept. Offensive. Impact. Commercial.
Looking for the hottest music and exciting updates? Follow ICRT on YouTube and all social media!